Hey everybody, Aaron Cowan, Sage Dynamics. In this video, we're taking a look at the Railscales Karve handstop. Ford grips, support hand grips. They evolve with the rails. Back to woodstock rifles, there weren't a whole lot of options out there, and some would argue you didn't really need them. And then you get into when the rail system started developing, we started to need rail space or mounting space for accessories. We had Picatinny, and they're the venerable Ford grip, your vertical grip, your broomstick, whatever you want to call it, was probably the most prevalent, still is the most prevalent, especially since it's still mill standard in a lot of circles. The grip accessories evolved because of the rail system. So when Keymod became a thing, and then later M-LOK, you got to a point where the rail system started to come full circle. We started off in the military. I started off with the M16, the M16 A4, or the A2, which had handguards. The A4 had a Picatinny rail, which gave us the options to use your Ford grip, your broomstick. And they've evolved from there. And now you're starting to see rails come back around to where a lot of guys run their guns slick. They may have some kind of heat protection like me. I use Railscales. Some of my rifles I don't run a handstop on. But I do like the handstop because it gives me a number of options, which I'll get into. Now, the handstop is simply that. Either it's a forward stop to keep the hand from going too far forward, or it's a stop to apply pressure rearward, like pulling a rope, to provide support with the support hand when you're shooting, especially for close quarters. If you want to drive the gun really, really fast, a handstop definitely comes in handy. But the handstop is not new. In fact, the earliest handstop patent, if you want to look at Google patents, is late 1800s. So the idea isn't new. The refinement is definitely new, and as far as the Railscales Karve goes, it does something that no other handstop or vertical grip can do. So the specs on the Karve, it's direction neutral, which means it can be mounted in either direction, your preference. At 1.5 inches long, it has a very small footprint. In fact, when it's mounted on Keymod, it takes up 2 Keymod holes. When it's mounted on M-LOK, it takes up a full M-LOK slot. So it still leaves you a lot of room for other accessories on the 6 o'clock position if you need them. One of the coolest things I think about it is it maintains specs for spacing standards on both Keymod and M-LOK. As opposed to some of those bolt-on universal systems that are out there that do not. So that's cool. It's made out of 416 stainless. It's available in multiple colors. How is it possible that you can have a device that can mount on Keymod and M-LOK at the same time? Well, Railscales came up with a pretty ingenious system, and I'm kind of upset that I didn't think of it. They call it COG. It's Common Overt Geometry, and basically what you get is this. Now, you already saw some of it on the intro, but this is more of a close-up, hands-on right now. This is the Orbital Gray model that I received, and I've been beating the holy hell out of it. Not on purpose, just putting it through some hard use because I like hand stops and I use them accordingly. But what you get in the package is you get the Karve, you get the COG plate, and then you get two different heads, one for Keymod and one for M-LOK, and then you get a universal nut that they're using. And that allows you, with quick change, all you really have to do is flip this plate and then change out your head, and then you can go from Keymod to M-LOK. Now, how often are you going to switch back and forth between Keymod and M-LOK? Me personally, I only have one M-LOK rail. It's on my Grey Ghost Precision upper, but I have everything else is Keymod. The cool thing is I can buy one product for two rail systems, and there's nothing else out there that really allows you to do that with this degree of versatility and without the need of stacking options. When Keymod first became a thing, there were Picatinny adapters to where, like, if you had a Picatinny accessory, you had to buy a Picatinny plate, put it on your Keymod, screw it in, and then mount that to that. I remember running bipods like that for long-range guns and stuff like that. If this system had existed then, who knows what could have been done. This allows me to mount an accessory on either rail. The Karve is where it starts. Who knows where it's going to go from here, because I can see a lot of people wanting to get on the bandwagon to use this mounting system for their accessories. I would love to have this option on every single object I bought. Now granted, most of your hard products, your lights, your D-balls, optics, so on and so forth, they still default to Picatinny because that 12 o'clock rail is going to be Picatinny, and that's where most of your accessories go. However, now I have an option for, you know, my lights, if they're side mounted or 6 o'clock mounted, and my grip systems to be universal, which from a consumer standpoint is very beneficial. The Karve's usefulness for me knows no bounds. I'm a big handstop fan. I like small, unobtrusive grip surfaces. For some things, I still do like a vertical grip. Use a thumb brake grip on that. But for most of my situations or most of the guns I use, I'm going to use a handstop because it is small and unobtrusive. I like rearward support on the gun that allows me to really maximize what I call a rope grip. It's similar to a thumb over bore grip, but I don't actually put my thumb over the 12 o'clock unless I'm running a D-ball or a weapon light that has a pressure pad mounted up there. It also allows me to shoot pool cue grip. If I want to support off of a barricade, come into barricade support, it actually allows me to put the handstop in between my thumb and my index finger, brace it against the barricade, and provide a very stable pintle platform to make fine adjustments at intermediate and longer range shooting. Handstops obviously can provide a rearward indexing point to allow you to provide rearward pressure to the gun, or they can provide you with a hand stop to prevent your hand from going past a certain point. So if you're running a really short rail, or you're worried about, you know, missing the grab and burning your hand on the barrel or the suppressor or what have you, you can put it out there so when your hand slides forward, it hits a stop and you know, okay, this is my positive index point, this is where my hand needs to be every single time. Obviously a grip surface on the rail, it's going to be, you know, by design, what it's going to do. The Karve allows rearward and forward. It's designed to be used either way. You can reverse it, like I said, if that's your thing. And as far as I'm concerned, like the weight is obviously not an issue whatsoever, and it's just out of the way enough. It's just small enough that it's not going to interfere with any of my other equipment, my gear, my sling, you know. If I'm wearing a plate carrier, if I'm wearing a belt or anything like that, it's not going to catch and drag and hook on things like some of the bigger grips would. It also doesn't require some crazy interfacing mounting system if I want to take it from key mod to M-lock, that's going to cause it to sit lower because it's going to stack higher than I would normally like. Karve is made in America. I know that's big for a lot of people. It's big for me. I like to buy as many made in America products as I can. The price point for me, I think, is completely reasonable. Now, some people can be like, oh my God, that's overpriced. Well, you can't actually say something is overpriced unless you have firsthand knowledge of what it costs to design, manufacture, ship, the logistics. You have to know those things before you can actually say something is overpriced. Just looking at a price, and when you innately feel like, oh my God, that's more than I want to spend, you don't then get to say something is overpriced. That's not how it works. You get what you pay for. Railscales products are what some might consider more expensive than competitors, but I like to think that you're getting a lot of quality for what you're spending. Now, again, this isn't a product that's going to be for everyone. If you're just interested in aesthetics, then this is a great product. If you're interested in aesthetics and functions, this is really the only hand stop to get. I am a bit of a fanboy because the evolutions of the Railscales hand stops going back to the S3, first they made them out of G10, aluminum and titanium. They were a little bit bigger of a footprint, but even then I was like, this is as good as it gets. And then they went and released the Karve and proved me wrong. I haven't had it for a long time, but I've already put it through some pretty significant hard use, as you've already seen, and I think it's going to have a very long lifespan until they come up with a new version for my rifles. So in short, if you want a hand stop, if you're indecisive, you don't know which gun to run, you got a key mod, you got an M-lock, or maybe you just have one or the other, and you want a hand stop, just buy this one. Just go ahead and save yourself the grief of trying to source an M-lock hand stop, because there aren't that many of them out there, or trying to source a quality hand stop for key mod, because there's a lot of them out there, but this is probably going to be your best choice. The versatility alone is reason enough to buy it. Don't think of it as buying one hand stop, think of it as buying two for half the price. It gives you the option, key mod, M-lock, good to go. I'm Aaron Cowan with Sage Dynamics. Hand stop accordingly.